to be the most common format of exam question when it comes to complete the square. Part A usually asks you just to complete the square, and Part B asks you for the minimum value. So we'll work through Part A first. Open up the bracket, it'll get squared, x goes inside. Now this number here would be half of the coefficient of x, so half of minus 4, so it'll be minus 2. Outside the bracket, we take the number inside the bracket, so minus 2, and we square it and then subtract it. So it'll be subtract negative 2 squared, and then add in the minus 10 as well. We'll simplify this a bit. X minus 2 all squared minus 2 squared is minus 4, and then subtract 10. And finally, x minus 2 all squared minus 14. So to answer part A, the value of A would be minus 2, and the value of B would be minus 14. Alright, part B, when it asks for the minimum value, what it means is this thing here is a function, it's a quadratic, which would form a curve. So if I sketch this out, when they ask for the minimum, they want you to find the coordinates of the minimum point there. And the best thing about completing the square is once you do it, it's really easy to see where the minimum coordinate would be. So if I look at this bit here and I make it y equals, I've got to think about what value of x would give me the minimum value of y. And to do that, I'm going to focus in on this bit here. Now, hopefully you know whenever you square a number, you can't get a negative. So whatever number I put in for x here, x minus 2 all squared, cannot be negative. So that means the minimum value it could ever be would be 0. So I've got to think about what value of x would make the value of this box here equal to 0. So I've got to make this bracket here equal 0, and therefore x would have to be 2. Because if x was 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 0 squared is 0. So the minimum, the value of x, which gives me a minimum value for y, would be x equals 2. So I can fill that in already. Now if x was 2, let's think about what y would be. So 2 minus 2 all squared is 0, and then subtract 14, and y would be minus 14. So that's the value of y. So just to conclude there, when you're finding the minimum coordinate and you've got it in complete the square form already, for the value of x, think about what value would make the bracket equal 0. And then for the value of y, it's going to be the value outside the bracket. So in this case, it'll be negative 14.